Welcome. If you are new here watching this video, there is a good chance you have been ensnared by the irresistible pull of eye-grabbing clickbait. Thank you for the click and participating in this experiment. There may or may not be cats or Illuminati content in this video, you will just have to watch until the end to find out. For regular and subscribed viewers, welcome back to the channel and chapter 44 of the Chronus Book of Days. Let's begin. This week in Chapter 44, we meet up with the reversed Hermit and his gloomy satellite companion, the Five of Pentacles. Collectively, this marks a significant shift in the overall vibe compared to the spine-tingling excitement of last week when the reversed Wheel of Fortune took us on a moonlit-haunted ride. The Five of Pentacles ranks high on the list of tarot cards that people wish to avoid like a plague due to its association with personal ruin, financial hardship, distress and misfortune. On a personal note, when this card appears, it is quite natural that Hosier's song Take Me to Church will become a persistent internal soundtrack soon overstaying its welcome in my mind. In the song, for those not familiar, he expresses a deep and passionate love for someone, suggesting his love is akin to a religious experience. However, he also criticizes the negative aspects of organized religion and how it can be full of hypocrites, intolerant and oppressive. With that association in mind, last year, just days before Christmas, my partner and I found ourselves in a situation that eerily mirrored the Five of Pentacles card. It was a jarring and profoundly disheartening moment that I shall never forget. As we walked out of the CVS pharmacy, I had just picked up a prescription for COVID medication. My appearance that evening closely resembled the woman in the card, with pallid skin and disheveled clothing. The weather on that Friday, all day, had been harsh, overcast skies with wet snow falling, the cold wind cutting through us both. My husband, who was using a cane at the time, hadn't yet been diagnosed with ALS Lou Gehrig's disease, but his deteriorating physical condition was evident to all. It dawned on me that he and I, in that moment, bore a remarkable resemblance to the couple depicted in the Five of Pentacles tarot card. This realization struck me like a menacing bellwether of what the future might hold. His health was undeniably deteriorating, and as a homemaker reliant on his income, I found myself in a precarious situation. It was a scary time, the enormous weight of uncertainty pressing down on me. I felt broken, I was sobbing on the inside, and I couldn't help but regret my decision to let my natural gray hair grow out. In the twilight of that snowy Friday evening, I felt more like a Christmas witch than a beacon of light and hope. However, in that moment, the spirit of Christmas was all around us, even in that local CVS pharmacy. As he drove us back home, instead of succumbing to fear and despair, I chose to place my trust in the possibility of help, community, charity, and love being there when the time inevitably came. It was a profound shift in perspective, a belief that the essence of Christmas could extend beyond the holiday itself, filling our lives with the hope that, even in our darkest hours, kindness and support would emerge to carry us through. And I wasn't wrong, it has. While the spirit of Christmas that I described didn't precisely coincide with week 44 of last year, it resembles how a catchy tune can persistently loop in our minds, and depending on the song, even silently torment us if we're unable to find a way to remove it from replaying over and over in our head. In the world of tarot, the Five of Pentacles often represents a recurring and challenging set of circumstances, or an issue that one may grapple with alone in solitude, or quietly and introspectively. The Hermit card, serving as week 44 host, is closely associated with the astrological sign of Virgo. The number 44, considered a master number, resonates numerically and vibrationally with the words minister, therapist and spiritual, words that also associate with astrological Virgo. It follows that, the Hermit, on an esoteric level, is closely tied to the themes of brokenness and the journey toward healing. The theme of human brokenness and healing becomes even more evident when you consider that the Hermit card, within the Chronus Book of Days calendar system, corresponds to both week 9 and week 44, where we also find the only two minor arcana cards featuring men with bandaged heads operating as companions. This imagery implies various aspects, including psychic wounds, post-trauma recovery, or the scars of conflict and war. It highlights how the journey represented by the Hermit is intertwined with these themes of personal healing and overcoming life's challenges, as symbolized by the bandaged heads. When the Hermit card appears in reverse, it signifies a departure from the safety of solitude or inward retreat. It calls us to step into the real world where we can apply the wisdom we've gained in solitude to tangible real-world problems. It's in this transition from monastic and hidden to social and accessible that our faith and capacity for tolerance and mercy are truly tested. The reversed hermit prompts us to take our inner reflections and spiritual insights and put them into practice, to engage with the world and its challenges. Liberated from restrictions, or a period of solitary confinement, seclusion, hiding, laying low, or whatever the case may be, the reversed hermit can unlock the highest potential of the master numerical vibration of week 44. In other words, it has the ability to dispel the darkness of ignorance, superstition, and misguided beliefs through the precious light of mystical knowledge and wisdom. In this context, the hermit reversed can symbolize metaphorically a substitute for the church or organized religion, demonstrating how spiritual concepts can be harnessed for personal growth and benefit. The hermit serves as a reminder that even in times of uncertainty, or crippling fear, or even after a period of estrangement or prolonged isolation, wisdom can be a guiding light, helping us to find our way back home. It underscores the idea that faith and spirituality can serve as powerful tools to aid those in need, such as the downtrodden, a numerical double 5, root 55 word, as depicted in the Five of Pentacles companion card, helping them to construct or reconstruct their broken lives. Let's explore another aspect of this visually uninspiring week 44 duo where the worthwhile, creditable and wise often get overlooked and left out in the cold, for favor of the bizarre, absurd and sensational. In addition to cats scared of cucumbers garnering tens of millions of views, there's a baffling trend of videos promoting the most absurd claims bubbling to the top of most watched and recommended lists. Listen for just 15 seconds, even though the video stretches nearly 12 hours, and you'll possess the complete blessings of the universe, or Jesus, the angelic realm, or even the instant manifestation of your twin flame, in just 15 seconds. Furthermore, there are videos promising to rid you of enemies, black magic, death hexes, all sorts of spells and curses, a phenomenon that appears more widespread than the mainstream realizes, given these videos amass sometimes tens of thousands of clicks in a single day. Similarly, titles related to Archangel Michael, Arcturians, or the Illuminati, no matter how laughable or preposterous, also seem to have a magnetic effect, consistently attracting top trending status. It's quite astonishing how the pairing of audacious claims with wide-eyed facial astonishment known as YouTube expression face continues to attract audiences. Despite the often ludicrous appearance, this thumbnail formula seems to have an enduring appeal, perpetuated by the fact that people replicate it even when it borders on dishonest and misleading. It's a testament to the mesmerizing power of clickbait tactics in the digital age, where the allure of the sensational too often overshadows common sense. My aim was to use week 44 to put the clickbait theory to the test, and in doing so highlight an alternative truth about the reversed hermit and Five of Pentacles, and the irony of how easily we are drawn into the captivating but misleading world of social media bankruptcy. By delving into the absurdity of combining cats, cucumbers, the Hermit card, and the Five of Pentacles, I had hoped to shed light on the curious and sometimes baffling unwise nature of our online choices, hopefully inviting viewers to question what drives their online engagement. And finally, the reversed Hermit card typically aligns with individuals who for one reason or another, haven't intentionally embraced a life of solitude or withdrawal but instead have been thrust into a state of exile, or hiding, or have been rejected by others whom they once considered friends and comrades. When the Five of Pentacles accompanies this predicament, it intensifies the sense of isolation, as the depicted couple appears cut off from their community, seemingly blacklisted, but for the reason of having done the right thing or having done nothing at all, much like the situation facing two Georgia state election workers Ruby Freeman and Shay Moss, who had their lives turned upside down by conspiracy theorists and the power elite, ultimately forcing them into hiding. While society may often assume that their ostracization or excommunication stems from some moral bankruptcy, it's worth considering an alternative perspective. Perhaps, instead of a moral failing on the part of the outcast couple, the true moral lapse lies with the ruling elite and other hypocrites who have cast them aside. In this narrative, the couple may have taken a principled stand, going up against a rising tide of conformity or populism, and it's this defiance that has led to their abandonment by a society reluctant to acknowledge the righteousness of their choices. This narrative invites us to question the often blurred lines between moral courage and social condemnation, prompting a deeper probe of the complex dynamics at play when individuals dare to speak truth to power, or challenge the current cultural indoctrination or status quo. Numerically speaking, the number 5 represents a midpoint, signifying a state of transition, while the number 9 frequently symbolizes endings and the approach of a conclusion. In the tarot calendar, here known as the Chronus Book of Days, week 44, can fall within a range beginning as early as October 26th and concluding on November 1st, or start as late as October 31st and ending on November 6th. In either scenario, week 44 consistently marks the shift from October to November, coinciding with the celebration of Halloween or its solar equivalent, known as Old Halloween, which occurs when the transiting sun reaches 15 degrees of Scorpio, or even both. As November unfolds, the days grow shorter, the harvest season wraps up, and the chill of winter begins to set in. This transition encapsulates the shift from the vibrancy of autumn to the quietude and darkness of the impending winter months. This year, week 44 is particularly fascinating due to the dual transitions it accommodates. October, with its numerical association linking it to the Wheel of Fortune, gives way to November, introducing the symbolism and archetype of justice, here in the Chronus Book of Days and elsewhere, the 11th card of the major arcana. In the year 2023, which is a numerical 7-year achieved by adding together 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3, when combined with the 11th month, results in a numerical 18 shadow month, characterized by the influence of the Moon card. The pairing of justice with the 11th month, November, is an expected and repeated occurrence no matter the year. However, the conjunction of justice and the Moon in November is a somewhat rare phenomenon, with the last instance of this alignment dating back to 2014. This infrequent pairing of justice and the Moon therefore merits closer examination, as it brings together two distinct forces, one symbolizing fairness and equilibrium and the other representing the mysterious and emotional aspect of our lives. After spending some time contemplating the convergence of symbols beginning on All Souls' Day, November 1st, which includes week 44's reversed Hermit and 5 of Pentacles, as well as November's transition to justice and the shadowy influence of the Moon, I received the following channeled message: every creature, without exception, follows its own set of habits. Uncover these habits and bring them into the light of just awareness. Take it as it resonates. Another word that carries the 44 numerical vibration is karma. Karma is a concept deeply rooted in Eastern philosophy, and should not be confused with or used interchangeably with Western ideas of religious penance or punishment, nor is karma a chic substitute for divine retribution. At its core, karma signifies doing, or the consequences of one's actions. To be specific, I played fast and loose with the law, now I'm on trial accused of such and such a crime. This is your karma. It doesn't indicate whether your being on trial is a good or bad thing, only that it is the just result of your own doing, or deeds, or desire to get away with something perhaps underhanded or criminal. Therefore, when we experience something, be it amazing or not so much, it's not merely a random occurrence but a result of our own doing, or deeds, or desires. When confronted with the timeless question of why me in the face of life's challenges and tragic events, it's essential to recognize that these occurrences are not necessarily punishments or arbitrary acts of fate. Instead, they often unfold because there exists within us the capacity for such experiences to occur, that is to say, this horrid thing has happened to you, because there exists in you something for it to happen to. The question here is not why me but rather what in me is this happening to. In essence, so-called karmic events are not a form of divine retribution but rather a means by which we acquire self-knowledge and wisdom, which is the whole point of being. Karmic lessons are just that, they aren't personal, they are lessons waiting to be absorbed or experiences we must undergo. Embracing this shift in perspective invites us to view life's events, no matter how difficult, as opportunities for self-discovery and personal development, emphasizing that we are active participants in our own destinies. In the early hours of Saturday, November 4th, Saturn, often referred to as the Lord of Karma, resumes its forward motion. This marks the end of its retrograde phase that began on June 17th of this year. As Saturn is associated with time itself, this transition is particularly significant. It synchronizes precisely with a numerically aligned week, complemented by the presence of the reversed Hermit and the 5 of Pentacles. The archetypal Hermit is pretty much self-explanatory. The symbolism surrounding the reversed Hermit card carries a profound sense of emerging from solitude, breaking free from a period of forced or self-imposed isolation, or even rejoining the world after a psychic break or period of social withdrawal. It represents that awkward transition from the shadows into the light, much like an individual who has been hidden away, voluntarily or otherwise, when finally stepping back into the world. Coinciding with this concept of emerging from darkness is the stationary direct motion of Saturn, especially when it follows a period of retrograde. Saturn, often considered a stern cloistered monk in astrology, can create an energy akin to being held hostage and blindfolded, deprived of visual stimuli or access to natural light as a form of punishment or a condition of confinement during its retrograde phase. This is a time when we may feel burdened by restrictions, limitations, or introspective pressures. However, when Saturn goes direct, released from the bondages of retrograde, it's as if a hostage is finally seeing daylight after a long period of sensory deprivation. It's disorienting at first, but improvement is likely to come swiftly. The Hermit, with its association to astrological Virgo, a sign known for its attention to detail, introspection, analytical nature, and affinity with healing, adds another intriguing layer to this narrative. In its reverse shadow form, it aligns with Pisces, a sign characterized by its dreamy, imaginative, mystical, and deeply emotional qualities. Saturn's direct motion in 0 degrees of Pisces holds particular significance because it suggests that the release from constraint and introspection is not only about emerging into the light but also tapping into the more intuitive and compassionate aspects of our being. This alignment emphasizes an important connection between celestial and tarot symbols. It's as if the universe is highlighting the significance of Saturn's change in direction, underlining the theme of karmic lessons and the transition from a period of reflection and solitude, as represented by the reversed Hermit and the challenges seen in the Five of Pentacles. This unique combination invites us to think about influences of time, past, present and future, karma, and personal growth in our lives, making it a potent moment for self-exploration and transformation. In Chapter 44 of the Chronus Book of Days, we encounter the reversed Hermit and his somber companion, the Five of Pentacles. It's quite a shift from the thrilling ride we had last week with the reversed Wheel of Fortune. The Five of Pentacles often brings feelings of personal ruin, ostracization, and financial hardship, something we all try to avoid. I personally felt an eerie connection to this card when my partner and I faced a situation similar to it last Christmas. I felt like the couple in the card, battling harsh weather and health issues. Despite that tough moment, I chose to trust in the spirit of Christmas and the kindness of others. It was a shift in perspective that proved right, as help and support did come when we needed it most. The reversed Hermit tells us to take our inner wisdom and apply it to real-world problems. It's a reminder that even in dark times, faith and spirituality can guide us. The Five of Pentacles, on the other hand, can be a reminder of our struggles and challenges, often faced alone. I also talked about the allure of sensational content online. It's strange how absurd claims and clickbait videos can overshadow valuable information and common sense. Week 44 brings a shift from October to November, much like the transition from autumn's vibrancy to the quietude of winter. The influence of justice and the moon throughout November symbolize fairness and mystery, aligning in rare numerical synchronicity for the first time since 2014. In essence, both fairness and mystery can coexist when we recognize that achieving fairness may involve uncovering hidden or unknown aspects of a situation to ensure a just outcome. I talked about karma, a numerical 44 word vibrationally. Karma isn't about punishment or the wrath of God, but rather the consequences of our actions. In Earth School, karma is a teaching tool for self-knowledge and wisdom. Life's challenges and tragedies aren't punishments, they are opportunities for learning. As Saturn goes direct on November 4th, it marks the end of its retrograde phase, bringing a sense of release and emergence from confinement. The reversed Hermit and Five of Pentacles signify this transition, highlighting the importance of karmic lessons and personal growth. As we walk the solar path of the Six of Wands, our journey through mid-autumn culminates in a triumphant conclusion, where victory and recognition shine brightly on our path, illuminating the way forward. Whether you came here seeking cats versus cucumbers, or looking for secrets of the Illuminati, or stop by regularly, I hope you watched this video until the end. Please subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, share freely, and leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for your continued support, it means so much to me at this time. Happy Halloween, have a spooktacular time and enjoy the treats. I am MetaStar. Until next time. Always love.